One BMW 3 Series costs $12,000 used and needs $11,000 in repairs before the first year is up. Another one runs past 250,000 miles on nothing but oil changes and brake pads. 3 traps, 4 legends, real repair bills. I'm Mike, and I've spent 20 years working on BMWs. This is your 3 Series survival guide. Worst first. Worst number 3, E90N 47 diesel, 2007 to 2011. The N47 diesel has one of the most dangerous engine designs BMW has ever put into production. It sounds fine on paper. 4-cylinder twin-turbo diesel, 177 to 204 horsepower. Great fuel economy. But BMW mounted the timing chain at the rear of the engine, between the block and the transmission. When that chain stretches or the tensioner fails, and they do, the only way to reach it is to pull the entire engine. That's a $3,500 to $6,000 job if you catch it early. Most people don't catch it early. A rattle on cold start is usually the first sign, and by then the damage is already progressing. If the chain skips and bends the valves, you're looking at $7,000 to $10,000 for an engine replacement on a car that's worth $8,000 to $12,000. These failures have been documented as early as 40,000 miles. BMW even faced legal action over it in Europe. On top of that, you've got swirl flap failures that can drop debris straight into the cylinders and DPF issues on cars used mostly for short trips. These sell for $6,000 to $14,000 used, and they're cheap for a reason. Unless the timing chain and tensioner have been replaced with documented proof, walk away. I've personally pulled more than a dozen of these apart in the shop, and almost every owner says the same thing. No warning. Worst number 2, F3328 I/335 IN20 engine, 2012 to 2015. This is the BMW that tricks people. The F30 looks great, drives great, and shows up on every used car lot at a price that seems too good to pass up. Then the N20 engine starts revealing what it's been hiding. The timing chain and guides on the N20 stretch and wear prematurely, especially on models built before mid-2015. By the time you hear the rattle on cold start, you're already facing a $2,500 to $4,500 repair for the chain, guides, and tensioner. The engine packaging makes it a labor-intensive job, which is why shops charge what they do. But the timing chain is just the headline. The oil filter housing gasket leaks on nearly every one of these cars, dripping oil onto the serpentine belt and exhaust. Left alone, that becomes a fire risk. The valve cover gasket is another common leak at $600 to $1,200. The Vanos solenoids fail and cause rough running. The electric water pump typically dies around 60,000 to 80,000 miles. Another $700 to $1,500. You'll find these for $10,000 to $22,000 used, and they look like a bargain until you stack up everything that's coming. If the timing chain hasn't been replaced, add $3,000 to $4,000 to whatever you're paying. Most of the used examples out there have been neglected, and I've seen owners spend more on repairs in the first year than they paid for the car. A pre-purchase inspection from a BMW specialist isn't optional on these. It's the only thing standing between you and a money pit. Worst number 1, E46325 I/330i, 1999 to 2005. This one is going to upset some people because the E46 is one of the most beloved 3 Series ever made. The chassis is brilliant, the steering feel is legendary, and a clean one still turns heads today. But the E46 has destroyed more wallets than almost any other BMW in circulation, and it's not even close. The cooling system is the killer. The plastic expansion tank cracks without warning, dumps your coolant, and if you don't pull over fast enough, the engine overheats. The water pump, thermostat, and radiator all have a lifespan of around 60,000 to 80,000 miles, and a full cooling system overhaul runs $2,500 to $3,500 at a shop. That's the best case scenario. If the previous owner ignored it and the engine got hot, you're now dealing with a warped head or a cracked block. That's $4,000 to $7,000 on a car, worth $5,000 to $10,000. I've seen people buy a clean-looking E46 for $8,000 and spend more than that fixing it in the first 6 months. Then there's the subframe. The rear subframe mounting points on the E46 are known to crack and tear through the floor pan, especially on higher mileage cars. This isn't a minor issue. If it's gone too far, the car is structurally compromised. Reinforcement plates and proper welding run $1,500 to $3,000. On top of that, you've got window regulators that fail constantly, control arm bushings that wear and kill the steering feel, and the DISA valve and CCV system that both need attention on the inline 6 models. You'll see these listed for $4,000 to $15,000. The E46 can be a fantastic car, but only if the cooling system has been completely refreshed and the subframe has been inspected. Most cheap ones have had neither done. Walk away from any E46 without full service history. Post your worst E46 repair bill in the comments. Best documented story gets pinned. All right, enough damage. Let's get to the 3 Series models that actually earn their reputation. If this guide is helping you out, hit the like button and subscribe. Deep dives like this drop every week so you don't buy the wrong car. Best number 4, E9320D, 2005 to 2011. Wait, didn't the N47 just make the worst list? Yes, but timing matters. That earlier M47 diesel in 2005 to 2007 cars doesn't have the rear-mounted chain problem at all. And late production N47 engines from 2009 to 2011 received updated timing chain components that significantly improved durability. Get the right production date, and you get a completely different car. The M47 variant puts out 163 horsepower and routinely returns 45 to 55 miles per gallon in real-world driving. The late N47 is nearly as efficient with a smoother, more refined power delivery. Neither engine is exciting, and that's the point. These are workhorses. They start every morning, sip fuel, and don't ask for much in return. Running costs are genuinely low. The 4-cylinder diesel is simpler and cheaper to service than any inline 6. Insurance is lower. Parts availability is excellent. You can pick these up for $5,000 to $12,000 depending on year and mileage. And unlike the other cars in that price range, these don't come with a hidden repair bill waiting to surface. If you're looking at a late N47, verify the timing chain was replaced or confirm the build date falls within the updated range. On M47 models, swirl flap deletion is a common and recommended preventative step. Service history matters on any diesel, so don't skip that. I've had customers drive these past 200,000 miles on nothing but regular servicing. It's not glamorous, but it's the kind of car that quietly pays for itself. Best number 3, G2330IB48, 2019 to 2025. Most people shopping for a 3 Series think they need the 6-cylinder. They don't. The G2330i with the B48 4-cylinder turbo is the car that quietly proves that point every single day. 255 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in about 5.6 seconds. That's quicker than most people expect from a 4-cylinder, and it returns around 26 city, 36 highway while doing it. This is a car you can commute in all week and still enjoy on a back road. The B48 engine has built a strong reputation across the BMW lineup. It's shared with the X1, X3, and Z4, which means parts are widely available, and every independent BMW shop knows how to work on it. The big maintenance items are the water pump and thermostat around 80,000 to 100,000 miles at $800 to $1,500, and valve cover gasket seepage that's manageable and not urgent. Pair that with the ZF 8-speed automatic, one of the best transmissions in the business, and you've got a powertrain that holds up well past 100,000 miles with proper care. Keep the software updates current, especially on early G20 models that had some infotainment bugs, and change the ZF8 fluid at 60,000 to 80,000 miles regardless of what BMW says about lifetime fill. New, these run $44,900 to $49,200. Used 2020 to 2023 models sit around $28,000 to $40,000. I recommend this car to people all the time. For most drivers, it's all the 3 Series you actually need. and it costs a lot less to live with than anything wearing a six-cylinder badge. Best number 2, G20M 340i B58 2020 to 2025. If the 330i is the sensible choice, the M340i is the one that makes you grin every single time you press the throttle, without punishing you when the warranty expires. 382 horsepower from the B58 turbocharged inline 6, 369 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds with X-Drive and electronically limited to 155 miles per hour. To put that in perspective, this car would have embarrassed the E46 M3 in a straight line, and it does it while returning around 26 miles per gallon combined. The B58 is legendary for a reason. It's the same engine in the Toyota Supra, the X3 M40i, and the X540i, and it has proven itself across hundreds of thousands of miles. Owners routinely report 150,000 to 200,000 miles with nothing more than scheduled maintenance. Pair that with the ZF 8-speed automatic, adaptive M suspension, and available X-Drive, and you've got a car that's comfortable enough for a daily commute and sharp enough to make you take the long way home. Maintenance is straightforward. Water pump and thermostat around 100,000 miles at $800 to $1,500. Valve cover gasket seepage is a known B58 quirk, but nothing serious. Change the ZF8 fluid at 60,000 to 80,000 miles regardless of the lifetime fill claim, and budget for slightly higher brake wear than the 330i because of the extra weight and power. New, the M34i runs $58,900 to $62,200. Used 2020 to 2023 models go for $38,000 to $52,000. I've worked on full M3s, and M340 is side by side. And for the way most people actually drive, the M340i gives you 90% of the experience at a fraction of the long-term cost. This is the thinking person's M car, M340i or full M3. Post your pick and tell us why. Best number 1, E93-2, 5i/330, IN52, 2006 to 2011. After timing chain nightmares, cooling system disasters, and turbo complexity, this is the BMW 3 Series that finally gets it right. The naturally aspirated inline 6 that just refuses to quit. The N52 produces 215 horsepower in the 325i and 255 in the 330i. These are not fast cars by modern standards, and that's not the point. What makes the N52 special is how it delivers power, smoothly, linearly, with that classic BMW inline 6 character that turbo engines have never fully replicated. You don't buy this car for the 0 to 60 time. You buy it because every time you start it, it sounds right and it feels right. This is a naturally aspirated engine with no turbocharger to fail, no high-pressure fuel pump issues, and no boost-related heat management. With proper maintenance, the N52 routinely runs 200,000 to 250,000 miles. There are documented examples past 300,000 miles still on original internals. I've worked on N52s that have outlasted 2 sets of owners and still run like they came off the line. The E90 chassis deserves just as much credit. Rear-wheel drive, hydraulic steering on earlier examples, and a suspension tuned for engagement rather than pure comfort. This is the last generation of 3 Series that felt truly connected to the road, before BMW traded that feel for turbo power and digital steering. Maintenance is modest and predictable. Vanos at higher mileage, $500 to $1,000. Valve cover and oil filter housing gaskets seep over time, $400 to $800. Electric water pump around 80,000 to 100,000 miles at $600 to $1,200. Nothing catastrophic, and every independent BMW shop knows this engine inside out. Watch for rust on northern climate cars, especially the wheel arches and undercarriage, and verify the eccentric shaft sensor has been addressed. Service history is everything on high-mileage examples. You can find these for $6,000 to $15,000 depending on model and condition. No turbos to fail, no timing chain drama, no expensive surprises. Just a smooth, engaging, reliable inline six that rewards the people who take care of it. This is the one. If you take one thing from this video, let it be this. Never buy a 3 Series without knowing the engine code. That one piece of information will tell you whether you're driving home in a reliable car or handing your paycheck to a repair shop. I've been saying that for 20 years, and it hasn't been wrong yet. Here's the recap. 3 traps. The N47 Diesel E90, a timing chain time bomb that can destroy itself at 40,000 miles. The N20F30, a car that looks like a deal and bleeds you dry with oil leaks and chain failures. And the E46 without service history, the most expensive cheap BMW you'll ever buy. 4 legends. The E9320D, with the right build date, quiet, cheap to run, and built to last. The G2330i, all the 3 Series most people actually need. The G20M340i, 90% of an M3 at a fraction of the long-term cost. And the E90 with the N52, the naturally aspirated legend that refuses to quit. Now it's your turn. M340i or full M3? Drop your pick and tell us why. Best answer gets pinned. Hit the like button and subscribe. Deep dives like this drop every week so you don't buy the wrong car. Turn on notifications and I'll see you in the next one. Don't buy the wrong BMW.